a journalist car. They can't afford it. Okay, I'll be back.
Are you still in?
Woodland grass and shade. Anything about that?
I've got another umbrella in the stand. If you want to throw an umbrella over you, your call. It's
I think
right
for
there in
now
the
this
back.
will work until the sun changes again.
Yeah.
It's like,
You want return? You want hay vision?
Yes, please.
From the very beginning of when you guys first reported, as you first had been having there, and now you have this being on site basically, and here we are asking them to whatever they're asking them to maintain.
Yes.
Under what control?
Control become
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Faulkner is 2. This was first.
Yes.
Your circuit 10 through 12, and they've given you an IMV rim to 11.
10, 12 to 11.
Yep. So what you just expect to have one of these shots be hot, I think would be
Hi, good.
Watson Cruz on the bridge. Hey, Charles, just step back a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
222.
So we're going to shift this camera
Oh,
off the bump cam, right? Go ahead.
oh,
You were the bump cam?
No,
Like,
yeah, we're going to shift over. That
oh,
way.
no.
We're putting this as
mm-hmm,
the bump. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes. Sorry, I thought you meant, are you making a switch? I was like,
mm-hmm.
You're in it.
Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, bud.
Say, what was the last part?
Circuit 10, 12, rim to
10,
11.
10, 12 to 11.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yep. So what's going on now? What we saw, um, we expected police to continue their search for Brian Laundrie at the Carlton Reserve this morning, but we learned that the search of the nature reserve had been called off. That really came as a surprise to really everybody because the Carlton Reserve is 25,000 acres and agents had only been out there for 2 days searching. And as of yesterday, I hadn't really found anything according to the Northport Police Department.
Circuit 1012 211.
Let me find out one thing.
Just wait in front of the camera. Okay. Yep, that's the one. Just bump shot.
I haven't really found anything according to Northport Police. According to Northport Police.
Somebody out here is saying
Oh,
back then
okay, I'm standing behind the camera.
you're good. You're golden. Don't listen to me. Don't mind me.
Cool, man. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Do you think we should go into the,
Okay. Shots up.
the parents not reporting him missing until Friday?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Just riff until they tell you wrap.
All right.
Claudia, just want you to know the shot's up on digital.
Yes.
He wants- Copy that. He's stepping in front now. Charles, I want you in there. You're next. You right hand.
Okay.
Not adjusting that umbrella.
Yeah, that's right, Harris. A lot of police activity out here right now. Now, just a short time ago, as you mentioned, we saw the FBI move in on the Laundrie home in full force. You can actually see what's going on across the street right now. But we saw nearly a dozen agents go to the front door, announce a search warrant twice before going inside and removing both Chris and Roberta Laundrie, the parents of Brian Laundrie. Both were placed inside of a van outside of the home. Right now, it's not really clear if they're still in that vehicle, but there's been no indication that agents have removed the parents elsewhere. We expected police to continue their search for Brian Laundrie at the Carlton Reserve this morning, but we learned from police that the search of that nature reserve had been called off, and that really came as a surprise to just about everybody because the Carlton Reserve is a large place. It's 25,000 acres, and agents had only been out there for 2 days or so searching, and as of yesterday, hadn't really found anything, according to the Northport Police Department. Now, obviously, we learned the news yesterday of a body being found in Wyoming that is believed to be Gabby Petito, and we learned from local police here that they were trying to obtain cell phone tracking data for Brian. Not clear how far they got in that effort, but obviously the FBI is certainly refocusing their their efforts here at the Laundrie residence. Now, there have been a lot of questions as to what Brian Laundrie, as well as his family, knew, if anything, about the disappearance of Gabby Petito. You'll remember the two have went on that cross-country trip out west, and Brian returned home on September 1st alone. It was only 10 days later that Gabby Petito was reported missing, not by Brian, but by her family, because they had not spoken to her in a couple of weeks. At that point, we saw that the family decided to not cooperate with the investigation, keep silent at the advice of their attorney, and they were quiet on this situation, even though the Petito family had pleaded with them to cooperate. It was on Friday when we saw police arrive here at the Laundrie residence for the first time to speak with the family. Lots of people thought that they were going to offer up some information about the disappearance of Gabby Petito, but police tell us that is when they reported that they hadn't seen Brian since Tuesday, and they believe that he had went to this nature reserve to go hiking. Police tell us that the family went out to the nature reserve and found the Mustang that he apparently drove there. There's been some conflicting reports about what they found in the Mustang and when, but they went out there to the nature reserve, retrieved the Mustang, and on Friday, that is when police learned that Brian had been missing for several days, and that is when they started the search over the weekend. Harris? Yeah, it's not clear how the family knew exactly where to go, but the Northport Police Department has told us that the family told them that is a place that Brian frequents often. He's a known hiker, and that is a place he would go to hike. So maybe they had some indication of where he would be, or an area that he likes to visit often. But they were able to find that Mustang and then retrieve it and bring it back to their home. When that happened exactly is still a question that needs to be answered. But just like this entire story, lots of questions that need to be answered right now, Harris. Yes. Okay.
No, 211, sorry.
Okay.